Hi, this is Pastor Mike from New Beginnings Church, and we're wanting to say good morning, attention, Central Texas. We're thrilled today to have Dr. Elisa Borah here. And so tell us why you're here this morning.
Well, I'm from the UT Austin School of Social Work, and I'm a research professor there, and what I do is develop new programs and evaluate them for veteran families, veteran couples, and veterans. So I wanted to share these new programs with you.
This sounds awesome. I'm excited because I have veterans within my church.
Awesome.
So talk to me. One of these you said is veterans, it's veteran couples.
Yes.
Okay.
So we worked with couples last year as part of another program, working on their marriages, their relationships. Sometimes there's strain on that marriage after military service. They're kind of putting all the pieces back together after many deployments, many separations. And so we worked with them on their marriage. And what we learned from them is not only was relationships something they needed to work on, but also PTSD. Wow. So sometimes we know veterans suffer from PTSD, and that can really affect their relationships. And so we want to, this year, work on PTSD in collaboration with the marriage at the same time.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Are you one of the first or one of the few doing this?
No, researchers and clinicians at the VA have been doing this.
Okay.
Just little pockets around the country, and we've been working with those clinicians, those expert clinicians in the therapy for couples, and we've learned that we want to try it out here in Central Texas, and it's a group format, which means there's 4 or 5 couples that come together every week for an hour and a half, and they work with 2 therapists, and they work through the curriculum, and they really focus on bringing down those PTSD symptoms.
That is great. Now, do they contact you for
Yes,
that?
absolutely. They can contact me by email. We can share our website at the end of the program. But absolutely, we are open right now for applications, and we're recruiting couples to start groups in October or November. Wow. And we also have another cohort starting in February of next year.
That is great.
Thanks.
What a great service. Now, you also said that you do something for spouses of veterans.
Yes, absolutely. So we've learned in our couple of years, we started the Texas Veteran Spouse Network, which has been a huge network of spouses across Texas who have been part of our Facebook page and our website. And we learned from them that they really needed a support group in person for themselves in their communities. And so we worked with those spouses to develop the curriculum, and it's a peer support model, which has 8 to 10 veteran spouses meet weekly, led by trained peer facilitators who are veteran spouses themselves. Wow. And the group helps each other out on all kinds of topics that they've all lived through. So whether it's how to transition from active duty to veteran life, how to get a loved one into care if you know they need some help and they're willing to get help, how to work on your own career or your own education that sometimes spouses will put on hold when they're in active duty life because they move around a lot and it's hard to finish those things or get a good career moving. And so we help them support each other in those goals in post-service life when they're a veteran spouse. So
tell me a little bit of your background.
Yeah.
You are
I am a veteran spouse also, absolutely. My husband served in the Army for 9 years.
Wow.
I also worked at Fort Hood, managing and helping out with the Strong Star PTSD trials. So I've been working in the PTSD research world for a while. And what I learned when I came back to UT Austin as a faculty member is we need a lot more programming for families of veterans. And since I'm a family member, I think, there's a lot that could be done.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy working in this area, and I really love helping out veterans and their families.
That is so good. And so after your spouse serving for 9 years and now as a veteran, you see firsthand some of the issues that need to be, and you also having the training psychologically and educationally to put some things forward that otherwise would not be able to be there.
Yeah, we just see in our work that there's a lot of focus on supporting veterans, which is very well deserved and definitely needed. But we feel like if we also support the families and especially the spouses, that's going to do much more in the long run to help the veteran. Because if the family is strong and the spouse is strong and the marriage is strong, that's going to really make a lot of difference in that veteran's recovery process, the transition to civilian life, getting good employment, getting the family stable, helping the kids readjust to a family that's post-service. And so we really feel like that family approach is something we want to focus on, especially coming from social work.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
We always focus on that system, that
Yes.
environment, not just the individual.
Right, right. And that's what I was just going to bring up. The difference between counseling and social work, and not that there's no counseling as social work, but you use everything around
Yes.
and something that might have a need or might just need some lift.
Absolutely. In our peer focus, the peer group that we work with the spouses, it's a very strengths-based model, which you've probably heard of, which means we don't just talk about problems, we talk about all the possible strengths in their lives and the resources and their networks that could help them address a concern or a problem. So we're very strengths-based, and we rely on the spouses themselves to help support each other.
So do you lead a group, or have you led a group?
Actually, no. What I did is trained the spouses who will run the groups. And so we really turn it over to them.
Wow.
And they take it to communities around Central Texas. So we have groups forming right now, and we have an application that we'll share that link. We have groups forming in Killeen, Austin, one at the Samaritan Center, Austin Community College, Round Rock, Temple, and Waco. So
Incredible.
Anyone in the area, we want to try to find them a group if they want to start getting involved. It runs from 8 to 12 weeks, depending on the topics that the group selects to work on.
Wow.
So we really leave it up to them.
So they really are in charge.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Of course, we trained the leaders, the group leaders, but we provide lots of technical support to them. We don't want them feeling they're out there on their own. No, not at all. So we at UT will have regular phone calls with everyone, check in, make sure everything's going well. And like I said, with couples, the same for spouses. We're forming groups this fall, but we're also starting groups in February. If people want to wait till after the holidays to get started, we understand that.
So again, as these groups are forming and after the 8 week, are they still connected? Do you have any things with?
That's what we're hoping for, is that it helps build community for these spouses, because a lot of times a veteran family, a veteran and his spouse and children may move to a new community when they separate from military service.
Right.
And there's often not that built-in community that you have in the military.
Correct.
And so we're hoping this helps create community, and that even those who go through the program and are members might decide to get trained and then run groups of their own.
Wow.
So we can just really spread this model. And we've had a lot of interest on our Facebook page. If anyone wants to go look, it's called Texas Veteran Spouse Network. We have a lot of information there, how to apply. We have a great video that we're going to show a clip of at the end, describing how the program was developed, and one of the spouses that helped create it talks about it.
Wow, wow.
So we're happy about it. So we really want to get applicants in.
That is incredible. And again, you're helping both spouses of veterans as well as veteran couples.
Yes.
And so there are two different arms to really reach out to veterans and their families and the spouses and create this sense of you're not alone.
Exactly.
And there's things maybe you don't even know that are there that we can maybe show you and make you alerted to.
Exactly, yeah. So when they go to our website, they'll see the other programs that we have available. We're trying to be geographically broad in terms of Central Texas. We hope to someday, once we understand these programs and get feedback from the participants, to help spread them across Texas and possibly around the country.
Yeah. Spoken like a true clinician.
Of course.
It's always a systems base and how do we move this forward? Because again, being an adopted Texan, I was born in Florida, but being an adopted Texan, I always want to see it permeate beyond.
Yes, absolutely.
No one wants to give themselves to a work that stops just with them.
Absolutely. And we've already had on our Facebook comments so many people around the country commenting, I wish this was in Georgia, I wish this was in Arkansas. And so that really excites us and makes us realize that it's so needed and so important. And so we're hoping to grow it out of Texas, and Texas can be that model for peer support.
So what is your connection with these people? Were they once here, or were they?
I believe that the military spouses connected on Facebook, they were early adopters before Facebook became really popular, because they saw it as a way to stay connected with those spouses and families they had met on active duty bases and posts. And so when everyone had to move, they stayed connected. And so we think that it's our network sharing to their network, and that happens to be a worldwide network. Because they all met each other at various duty stations around the world. And so now they know each other and they know people everywhere.
Wow, that is so
good.
It's
exciting.
That I can't believe what a great opportunity here in Central Texas.
Absolutely.
And dare I say, I'm a little prejudiced because I like things starting in the center of Texas and moving out throughout the U.S. and maybe all over the globe.
Yeah.
And what a privilege to be a part. And maybe you're here and you want to be a part of that. And you're watching, and you'll have opportunity to, at the end of the program when we show a video in a moment that will do that. And before we go to that, is there any last comment or something that you'd like to say, Dr. Borah, about that?
Okay, I just would emphasize that if you're at all interested and you want to ask questions or learn more before you apply, feel free to contact us. We'd love to talk with you about it. But if you're ready to apply, we are very interested in filling applications by early October, which I know is coming up really soon. But we want to get the group started quickly. Yeah. So please apply, please ask questions, and let us know how we can help.
Wow, what a pleasure. It is great to have you as a part of this. Again, thanks, Dr. Elisa Borah. Thank you for bringing these programs and for caring for veterans. We have a video from Ann, who is going to share with you a little bit about what she did as a result and how she was helped. So thank you for listening to Attention Central Texas, and thank you for being a part of this. And we'll go ahead and go to the video now.
The family that is a veteran family is an evolution of the one that was active duty, and that was a painful process that no one prepared us for. My name is Ann Jackson, and I'm the spouse of a veteran. I think the things that are unique to a veteran spouse is that we have had to be such a strong single parent for such long periods of time under periods of stress. When I try to share our struggles and our pain and our trauma, it really falls flat, quite frankly, on a lot of my civilian friends, which causes me to give up. Because at some point I feel as if lots of the people who aren't military just say, get over it already. Just get over it. And we can't. It's a huge part of who we are. I think it's important to honestly talk about the changes you've seen in your spouse, how it's affected your marriage, how it has affected your children, and how it's affected you as a human being. Because you do, as a military or veteran spouse, spend so much time taking care of others. And at some point, as a veteran spouse, you have to say stop and say, you know what, I need someone to take care of me.